Arizona State.
Right.
I'm a Sun Devil, man.
The 27-yard line. That's a great call, too. Play fake. Farmer will put it up. Throws over the middle. Pull. Touchdown. Quick flag.
3rd down and 5. Levitt swings it to Scatterboom. Scatterboom breaks defenders. Here he goes again. Scatterboom is the running back, and he is immediately met in the backfield, runs through the contact, and then throws a shoulder for good measure. On this team this year. That is true. High in the air. Right center field. Brandon Compton. Welcome to 2025.
This one the other way. It gets no going back. Got the drag. Walks up and down.
Edwards pulls off and buries it.
Richardson drives out for Robbie Ryan. Hurt 3 right on the money.
Takes his shot for Darby. Flag out. Doesn't matter. Touchdown.
What's the haps? What's the good word, my Pitchfork Lunch peeps? Welcome into Tuesday's beautiful edition of Pitchfork Lunch. Yes, I am Michael Caratonito at Diablo00 on X, artist formerly known as the Twitter. Check out the show live there every day, Monday through Friday, 12 to 1. But you know that. And also, hey, I know what you also know, that you can go to the wonderful world of IG and watch the show live there too at michael.caratonito.5. Yes, I know. You see my name and then just go to the IG or the guys' YouTube channel. Go to YouTube, watch live because it is absolutely very, very, very awesome. It is very awesome if you go to YouTube, and you can again watch live, or but when you miss the show, and again we have great stuff, you miss a lot. You can subscribe and watch the shows back. Again, you missed a ton of phenomenal con reviews with a plethora of different, whether it be coaches, players, voices, analysts, alum, an athletic director, and we're going to have another awesome coach on today. So, yeah, I mean, Coach Van Niel from Volleyball, again, they've been rocking it, and we'll talk about his accolades. I know which he probably doesn't want to hear about when he gets up here. But, yeah, so I'm at the good old DFA today. His team's getting set. I'm sure you can hear in the background, the team is getting set to play TCU, and this team has won a lot of conference matches. I mean, let's put it this way. They were 17-1 last year. So, and this year so far, they are undefeated in conference play. And no, it has not been easy. They just got the Territorial Cup points, as you know, Pitchfork Lunchers. They just got those points, the win, but they got the Territorial Cup points for beating that team down south. As again, it is #OurState, which I love. They reminded me of that last year. So yes. That in and of itself, absolutely awesome. And I am very, very big fan of that. Just due to the fact that, again, they absolutely rock. But yeah, so go to YouTube, subscribe. It's at M as in Michael, V as in Victory, C as in Champ 005 at MVC005 on YouTube, guys, and subscribe, because I say this to you, my friends. It like I said, you have missed a lot, and we go all through and around Sun Devil Nation. And yes, no, not everything is rainbows and unicorns. Like it has been reported, it was let us know. Coach Dillingham said today that Sam Levitt will not be playing against Iowa State, so he is out for the game. That means Jeff Sims will get the full start and with some game action. Yeah, I mean, look, there's, like I said, not all rainbows and unicorns. Things that Sims, can do to improve. But yes, getting all these snaps and everything, it's again awesome to see. That not Sam being hurt. That is not awesome to see. Sun Pitchfork Lunchers, I am not saying that. But the thing with that is when you look at it, it's one of those things where if Sam's obviously getting the playing time, which again, that's why he's in the game. Sam tweaked it, but he will be out. So it's again Iowa State. They're banged up too. A rematch from last year's Big 12 championship. The Devils, at 5-3 right now. But again, they are 3-2 in conference play. So again, I mean, now you really can't afford any more conference losses if you still want to have a shot at the Big 12 championship game, which they can again. And look, there's teams in front of them right now that haven't lost. It's called chaos for a reason, my friends. Again, yes, me as a homer. Will I hold out hope? Absolutely. But that's one of those things where when I look at it, I know that that can it be done? Yes. Do they have to get better in the red zone? Yes. We've talked about it. Coaches talked about it. You've heard it in post-game comments. You've heard everything in his weekly pressers. Like, it has not been the same red zone. And yes, we know number 4 is not back there this year, but there's very capable people back there, as we've seen, players back there, as Kyson Brown again has been banged up. Raleigh Crown, Kanye Udo against Mississippi State. In that 10-minute drive, huge runs. We haven't seen a ton of them lately. So again, but interject Kanye back in, see if they interject him back into the offense. So that's one of those things where when we look at it, it's, hey, we can do it. And you can interject whatever back into the offense. I mean, Marcus Arroyo's done, look, you have the tools. Marcus Arroyo knows how to call an offense, help an offense. Obviously, with the influence of, Kenny Dillingham, and I mean, the input, I shouldn't say this influence, but like input, obviously they're working as a staff. We know Coach Dillingham, I mean, as a play caller, obviously, cut his teeth as a GA, like he says, but as a play caller, as an offensive coordinator, the guys we talked about since he's been hired, like this man can call plays. Like, again, as quarterbacks have blossomed, I mean, we see what obviously Bo Nix is doing in the NFL. Coach having worked with him, that year when he was at Oregon, obviously with Coach Lanning as his OC, and it's the play calling. So yeah, people can say, but a play caller, you always hear a play caller say, coaches say like, oh, you get a different feel to the game. So that in and of itself is, one thing again, maybe coach, but going for it on fourth down, if they want to go for it, then that's one of those things where where obviously Coach Dillingham's gonna be like, okay, you have this, we're gonna do this, looking at this. There's constant communication. I mean, no, and it's not, believe me, at this level, the coaching, it's not successful coaches like, I mean, Coach Dillingham has been like Coach Arroyo. Just in general, what I'm saying, they're not sitting there micromanaging, because if you're micromanaging the conversation too long, guess what? The play call's never going to get in, as we all know. But that's the thing. I mean, it's the between series communication. It's the adjustments, and obviously Coach Dillingham having worked with quarterbacks, and Coach Arroyo's up in the booth, but Coach Dillingham obviously down there on the sideline. So, that's that. So. That's, again, one thing to look for. But for Jeff Sims, again, you need to see, yes, you need to make plays. You need to link up with these receivers. And, Jordan Tyson is day-to-day. So, like I said, Sam Lewis out. Jordan Tyson is day-to-day. So we shall see if Jeff Sims will have him. But, again, the other is Malik McClain. I mean, people have been waiting for a game like that from Malik McClain. Granted, last year, I mean, he did redshirt and he did play in the, in the championship game where he had actually another hell of a catch. And then in the Peach Bowl where he had the touchdown catch from Scattaboo. So, I mean, that's, Malik McClain, people kind of, been waiting for that. So, Jaron Hamilton, the tight end, Shimon Mateer, I mean, had, the touchdown, had a touchdown called back as well. So, like, the weapons are there. I mean, look, I do personally, running back wise, I mean, we know what Coach Iguano, phenomenal job Coach Iguano has done with running backs in general. With running backs in general, and it's one of those things where I mean, Raleek Brown, I love what he does, but I think, mixing it up, and again, yes, it's understanding the playbook. I think Heine Udo understands it? Yes, absolutely. But do I think short yardage and in the red zone where they've struggled, I think see him more? Because like I said, look, winning last week, obviously, yes, would have been, ginormous, as we know, as you getting back to the Big 12 championship. But a loss, makes it tougher. But this team has a talent. Yes, they are banged up. Knock on wood, there's some injuries. But, talking to – and actually, I'll hear from CJ Fight. Actually, sure. I'm going to wrap this up. We'll go to break. We'll hear from CJ Fight, the phenomenal defensive tackle. And when I say CJ, guys, what do you think? Right here, man. Tank to Tempe. Tank to Tempe. Come on, Mr. Fight. Tank to Tempe. He hasn't made an appearance on the show in a little bit, but anyway, yes, that is Tank to Tempe when we talk about CJ Fight. But no, nonetheless, but talk to CJ Fight and, looking at what he's able to do, I mean, what the defensive line been able to do, again, 2 physical lines. I mean, Utah, again, it was tough. Equation, we've heard about it, obviously, with the quarterback run. They're at a +1 advantage at that point anyway. So that, to me, says a ton. But, again, this team, if they would have won against Houston, like I said, but you can still win out. You can still put yourself, obviously, keep climbing up bowl games, but a shot to put yourself in the Big 12 championship. I mean, with, but I mean, Texas Tech has to have a loss, and BYU needs to drop 2, and we have to have a tiebreaker over them. We don't play them this year. Hey, let the chaos begin, just like the tiebreakers last year, right? You guys remember that. So, Yeah, but we'll get to CJ. Soccer, guys, like I said, Territorial Cup matchup Thursday down in Tucson, taking on that team down south. The last Big 12 regular season game, the Devils, again, needing a win. Needing a win. And when we look at the Big 12 standings real quick here, TCU, again, they are 8-1-1. And again, we just fell to them 2-1. They are top of the Big 12. Okay. Well, BYU and ASU are 3-5-2, but ASU has a tiebreaker over them. Houston is 2-3-5, but somehow is in 8th right now. I don't understand that one, but yeah, because you look at BYU and they played. They had to play UCF last night, and all Devils fans were rooting for UCF, and that mojo just went right over to UCF as they beat BYU 2-1. So that it was huge for them. I know I kind of mentioned it yesterday quickly, but yeah, I didn't want to get too carried away. Just want to put it out there in the universe a little bit. Tricky ways, right? The wizardly ways as we think about, but let's see. And Houston, like I said, they have one less win. They're 2-3-5. Well, they just tied Baylor 1-1, and they're at TCU. So, well, we can root for TCU now, kids, because we want TCU to win that, and ASU to beat Arizona. Because they do that, then ASU wins. I gotta say they're definitely in. I don't see TCU. I mean, again, Houston is 2-3-5. They're 7-3-7 overall, but TCU 8-1-1, 14-2-1 overall. And Devils fans, again, on Sunday I was out there. Sir, you heard from Coach Winkworth yesterday. Shared some stuff with you. Yeah, it's pretty tough. So, anywho, nonetheless, but I'm gonna go to break. When we get back, we are gonna hear from CJ Fight. We're going to try and hear from CJ Fight. Got to fix a few things, but nonetheless, yes. So I will step aside, but either way, we'll be back with more Pitchfork Lunch on the other side.
Audio Jungle.
Yes. All right, we are back. Look at this. See, I said this is not CJ Fight. I know it's a trick right here. Coach is good with card tricks. I mentioned that. We saw that last week, but no, Coach Van Niel up here. Obviously, thanks for so much for. Again, I know I always tell you this way too much, but my Pitchfork Lunchers all know it because when I told them you were coming on, they said, "Oh, the first coach that came on your show." I was like 2.5 weeks in, and you were. Right. He was even up in Flagstaff because again. Got hired a little late and nobody wanted to come here and play. So he had to take everybody on the road the whole first month of the season, but Flagstaff was close enough and he did it on game day. So we always appreciate that. But Coach, man, all right, let's get into it, man. You come here and there's obviously talent here. I mean, through at ASU, but man, I know, it's the players and you're focused on the games, but the fastest to 50 victories in coach in Sun Devil history and coaching wise, like just, what has made everything so right? And I mean, how you ripped through, the first season and the last year of the Pac-12 and, first year in the Big 12, winning a Big 12 regular season championship and these accolades. And I know, again, as a coaches, because you guys are obviously always focused, but man, I mean, you just sit back and look and like, what made this like ASU so perfect?
I think it started with, this was an opportunity that I really wanted. I felt like the environment in Tempe is really good. We've got a huge student body population, 5th largest city in the country. And so in my mind, this was a really, really cool opportunity to come in and try to build a program. And I feel very fortunate with the staff that I hired. I feel like I have the best staff in the country. They complement me and my personality really well, and we have a good diversity of that. And I think that's huge. And then, of course, like I always talk about the first 9 kids that we had. We only had 9 kids on the roster, and I think they were just so bought into everything we were trying to get them to do, to build this program. And they really took a passion in building the program and leaving a legacy and those types of things. And I think that's important, for your program. Yeah. I mean, and like you said, for coaches to get buy-in anyway is always, I think, especially the higher levels up that you go is always tough, because for players that, minus transfer portal, but that are still here, it's like, kind of like, oh, well, we get why we have a new coach, but we want to do it like this. But okay, so you talk about the buy-in. Now, fast forward to last year in the Pac-12, going to the Big 12, that transition. I know we talked about it, but with all the years in the Pac-12 and knowing how, you obviously were at USC and Utah and just knowing the conference in general. But the first ever conference championship comes in the Big 12. People look at me like I'm crazy or too much of a homer when I say I'm shocked they never won one Pac-10 or 12 championship. But the other side of that, right after I say it, I go, I understand all that was here all those years too. But just to get that first one, and the team keep going forward. What did that mean to you guys? Yeah, that was special. I think we had obviously we lost some kids that had all graduated, but we returned a decent chunk and had some really special players come to us, like Arj, Savannah, Bailey, everyone. It was just really cool to see them compete and kind of sustain excellence through the entire year. The season in any volleyball conference is a grind. And I remember talking to John Cook once, and he said he thought it was harder to win a Big Ten championship than it was to win a national championship. And, to some extent that's true, because you're literally playing and you're getting beaten up every week, 2 matches, and you have such a wide range of competition. But, even the teams that finish, towards the bottom of the conference, if you're not on in the Big 12 or in the Big 10 or Pac-12 or any of these conferences, you're going to lose. And so I think it takes a lot of mental toughness, a lot of leadership. We had really good leaders last year. And, even through some injuries, I remember Jelly was out at the end of the season for a few matches, and we were able to just kind of maintain that focus. It was really special. Yeah, to see it, come to fruition as coach, like you say, having the right staff, to me is like when people say, people are like, oh, it's just coach talk. I'm like, but it is so huge, because you can't always have everybody just agreeing with you just because you're the head coach, but you always obviously can't be in disagreement. When you look at, obviously, okay, so you mentioned Jelly, which I think is cool, obviously comes back and, is part of your staff now. And you want to see players we want. I know, like you said, Arch playing on the national team. Mary, played in Vegas, and I know is obviously still playing too. So, but to have somebody like that come back and to see their success, it's exciting as a coach, but what does it mean to you? Because, like you said, you get here and it's like you want to become family, you can't force it, but it kind of becomes that right away for you. Yeah, I mean, I think it starts with culture, and we talk about connecting a lot in relationships, and like I said, I've got a great staff that I can offload a lot of stuff, which allows me to spend maybe a little more time with my players, grabbing coffee, doing card tricks, playing card games, but just checking on them. And I think that stuff goes a long way. And you see it whenever our alum come back; they're so excited. I mean, Mary and Art's been around a lot recently because they're home, but whenever they come home, you just feel this connection, and I think it just starts with your culture, your staff, everything you're doing to try to kind of build that program. So.
All right, so I have to I should say I'm probably not surprised you're damn good at card tricks, because talking to you when I first talked to you, you said you played obviously a little hockey, and I do have a message from a funny one from Coach Powers, by the way, because I did ask him about that. But I mean, like getting into stuff like doing the card tricks. I mean, because in every sport, especially college, I mean, you practice, you get ready for it a lot more than you play games and stuff like that. But so is learning to do stuff like the card tricks, I mean, just to kind of keep and again, not that the players are bored or not locked in, but just kind of keep the monotony a little different, and get on out there and just do something different, like, okay, it's card trick time, guys.
Yeah, I think it started, we had a retreat in January, and I kind of found these easy ones to do. I'd never really done this stuff before, and they all got a kick out of it, so sent me down a rabbit hole, and now here you go. But hey, it's the nice thing about cards, you can bring them wherever you are and kind of mess around, and it's just a fun kind of little extra thing to do. So.
Absolutely. And again, I'm sure I know everybody.
And Coach Kenny's got some card tricks too. So
there's a little competition.
I see. No, that's right. We're gonna get him on in November on my little card tricks with JJ.
Oh, okay. Well then, sign me up to watch, because I still won't pick up how you do. I'm the most terrible. And some of them, if pick it up, I know the magician's really bad, and when I was watching yours, even like it's awesome, because I showed a few of the clips here. Absolutely phenomenal. Okay, so Coach Powers is funny message, because when I talked to him before, when they were in last season, and I forgot to tell you, but he was like, I was like, yeah, Coach Van Niel mentioned he played hockey against. She said they did pretty good. Do you remember him being pretty good? He goes, I know he's a really phenomenal volleyball coach. He goes, we were probably he goes, and again, he had a little smile on his face. I should say that too. He goes, we were probably up by like 9 or 10 goals. So I can't really remember how good he was doing, but I just know we were winning.
I was in the penalty box a lot when we would play them. No, they were very good back then, and they smashed us every time we played them. But it was fun. I loved coming here, and his backup goalie was one of my friends from high school. Nice. So this was always a favorite trip, even though we know they would smash us, because then I'd get to go out with Webby and hang out and stuff. So
that's awesome. He said, he goes, but with the coaching job he's doing. Speaking of that, I don't know if you heard Coach Bloomquist gave you a huge shout out yesterday before his presser. He was reminding everybody that he's like, hey, I want to give a shout out to JJ. He goes, guys, again, the volleyball team got a big match against TCU. It is huge. He goes, support the young ladies, support JJ. And we talked about that last year. I say that because, again, it's not a lot of times you go places and, people always hear, those keywords like, culture, established culture, and, unity and being together. But every single coach that has come in, the coaches group chat. And I know, like I just told everybody yesterday, I bumped into you out at soccer, and I've seen, like Missy Farquet out at soccer and at hockey games. I know you've been out to hockey games and other, and just, obviously coaches, recruiting is big at football games. I get it, but, basketball, going out there. But when you truly have the support and you guys are in a group like that and you're out at each other's games, how just much more electric and fun does it make? I mean, the atmosphere here, and just like with teams winning and just coaching in general.
Yeah, it's really fun. I mean, coaching's kind of lonely. I mean, of course, when you're winning, everything's great, but of course, it's a tough sport, and you spend a lot of time. And I think when you have a group of head coaches that really truly support each other, and I mean, our head coaches meetings are a blast. I love it. I usually end up spending way more time than I should after, because I want to chat with everyone, catch up. But we have a special group here, and the coaches have been phenomenal. I mean, I've watched a bunch of other teams practice. I love doing that, and just seeing them, picking their brains, talking to them, it's special. It's really fun.
Let me ask you this real quick. You say that's made me think of a follow-up. I mean, but obviously different sports, different things. But when you're going out and you're just watching, just observing, watching them coach, how I guess how easy does it make to cross things over? Like when you pick their brain about maybe a certain thing that might not really relate to volleyball, but just in general, it relates to maybe a style of coaching.
Yeah, I mean, everything's about teaching, and how you can teach your players to do things better. How you can organize practices. So when I'm looking at, what are the communication with the coaches and players? How are they structuring their practices? When I went to football, I mean, and of course football, you have 120 players
Right.
and you have all these coaches, but like, man, I thought I was pretty organized. I went out there, I'm like, holy moly, like they got to be on point, and it's like 5 minutes, whistle blows, everyone moves. I was like super impressed, and then it was really special. Like I got to like Kenny, I was in his office and we were watching video together, and I don't know football, I mean, aside from like playing Madden,
Right.
but just watching kind of, he was showing me, hey, this is the plays, this is what the progression is for the quarterbacks, and how to create kind of motion, space, things like that. It makes me think about that stuff with volleyball all the time. So
that's all. Yeah. Again, and football, like I always say, athletes. I always ask coaches. Athletes that played multiple sports in high school. It's like I know this. Forever it's been like, club, whether it be volleyball, basketball, soccer, but like always hearing coaches say like the ones that played, maybe soccer or played basketball, and they're playing soccer, their footwork is absolutely, you can take a lot of that, and volleyball as well too. You can take a lot of that, not like, stumbling over, not that these great athletes stumble over themselves. All right. So in the thick of a conference play, just got to, again, me, I was bragging about it for 4 days, but like, it seems like 4 days, but a phenomenal win down, playing that team down south in Tucson. I know it, like I said, for a lot of the local players that have been here. I mean, you got, players that transferred back, but players that play here. But getting that win down in Tucson, I mean, I know, yes, it's a lot of trash talking this and that, but how gratifying is a rivalry game? I know you're in the thick of a season, but how gratifying is that when the players get that Territorial Cup win?
Yeah, I mean, of course, you want to beat your rival every year, and they have a good team down there right now, and I thought we handled. They had a really big crowd, and they were nasty towards us, and it was great. And I think, look, these are good opportunities for our players to go in and play in front of a hostile crowd. We've had some big matches in big crowds, and I think it's special. And to go in and really, we played a pretty clean game. There was just a couple of rotations we got stuck a little bit in that second set, but aside from that, we played a really nice game. I think it was the highest hitting efficiency of the Big 12 that year, or so far this season, for our offense, and it's nice to see us kind of execute.
And then I went back and look. I know I'd asked you the first year, which again hadn't, was last year of the Pac-12, but even asking you last year, like, what do you feel that your experience in the Pac-12 and the conference? I mean, obviously that it was in volleyball, but how did you feel it like transition into the Big 12 and the quality of volleyball you're seeing, and how it even helped? I mean, the players that played in that last year, but just the challenges that you saw, and obviously the Big 12. I mean, it's I know, insane for you every night. That's why wouldn't you? People say he always says he's looking at the next game. I go, guys, it's not coach speak. Like, if you look past, like you just said, I told him a million times, if you look past the last place team, you're going to lose to them, hands down. But I mean, just the prep of the go from Pac-12 to Big 12. I mean, just, and now that in second year into it, just what, like, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think when we were in the Pac-12, it was exactly that. I mean, you could play the last place team and they're going to take you down. I mean, our first season, I remember we went up and we lost at Oregon State. We were rolling, and that was a tough loss. And we had what on paper was maybe not a good loss, although that Oregon State team was tough that year. But and we went into Oregon, and I think we swept them up there, and they were ranked top 5 or something like that in the country at the time, and it was cool to see the response. So I think that builds confidence. It's a reminder to all the players you can't overlook any team, and I think in the Big 12 this year especially. I mean, the Big 12 this year's a tough one for sure, yes. And teams are beating each other up, and Colorado's killing it, and Iowa State. I mean, it's UCF's playing really good volleyball, like West Virginia. I mean, everyone's playing good volleyball, so you really got to stay focused on the next match, or you're going to get walked. I know it's tough for me as a homer to always admit it on the show, and I'll get it in the comments, but they're like, what about that? I'm like, they are playing well. I'm like, they're not ASU, but they are playing well. I'm like, that's what makes it fun. Seeing it all on getting to see it on ESPN Plus or ESPNU, or like whatever. That's awesome. All right, so I know you're locked up. We'll get you out of here on this through, you got the contract extension, which is awesome, but I mean, come on, you're not planning on leaving us early for being a magician on the road, right? No. The card trick magician on the road. My wife would kill me. And honestly, I'm really not that good.
He's getting there though. He's a competitor. He's getting there.
Trust me, I'm working on it.
Well, I volunteered to be his hype man guy, so this show would literally be on the road if you did that. But we want you here, coaching volleyball. But man, obviously, always thanks for being the very first coach to come on a budding homer show. But again, not all rainbows and unicorns. But you guys have made it. You've made it that way. You made it easy for me, so I appreciate that. But I know, again, the 0.001% of the mojo, the other 99,000% goes to the fan and his teams. Exactly. Right. Thank you for coming on again, and we'll be here tomorrow night. Again, get out here tomorrow night. TCU guys.
Big match. Come on out. Everyone be there, please. It helps our team for sure.
And we love dominating the Texas teams. We absolutely love it. So we'll step aside and have more. Again, hit me up with thinking about Coach said, and yes, none of you get to I don't know, maybe he'll let you do some card tricks with him, but he says he's not that good. You still won't top him. We'll be back. Put out. Look at that. It worked. I love to laugh about that. Anywho, but yes, so that was JJ Manuel. The phenomenal back-to-back, and again, I didn't go through it, but first year was the Southwest Coach of the Year and Pac-10, Pac-12, pardon me, going way back, Pac-12 Coach of the Year, and then last year was also the Coach of the Year in the Big 12, going 17-1 in conference play. I mean, just think about this. Like it is in my notes, and it is just absolutely awesome. So his first season, he goes 28-7. They started 14-0, and then they finished 14-7. Went to the Sweet 16 that year. First time back in the tournament since 2015. That was 2023. Last year in 2024, they go 30-3. They finished the regular season winning 17 in a row. They hosted the first round or the first 2 rounds of the tournament, and as you guys know, again, it was a little bit of a bummer for us. Yes, I know. A little bit of a bummer I'm not gonna lie, it was a huge bummer, but yes, they won the first round, and then they dropped the round of 32 here in Tempe to Texas A&M. But again, each year, just you build on that, right? So absolutely insane. You look at it, but 30-3 last year, and 17-1 in conference play. And now, right now, they are 17-2 overall. They're on an 11-game win streak. They've won 24 consecutive conference games. Like, you talk about the focus and the energy and everything that takes. Like, man, it's it's phenomenal. So yes, big fan of that. And then 75-12 overall, but now 39-7 in 3 years in conference play between last year in, the teams last year in the Pac-12, and then their first years in the Big 12. First 2 seasons in the Big 12. So yeah, I mean, I don't hunger, drive, domination, like all the things, like, again, the target is on their back. Everybody's going to give them their best. I mean, when they opened up conference play at KU and won in 5, that in and of itself, again, absolutely awesome. So, but yeah, I mean, it's just, and what the team's doing this year, I mean, again, I know probably should have got more into the team too, but we did talk about what they're doing, but the players, I mean, Glover and Noemi Glover, what she has done, whew, man, I mean, come on. I mean, when we look at, again, with the, like, having unfortunately been banged up for a little bit, but you look, I mean, at what Noemi Glover has meant, and obviously what Bailey Miller has done too. But I mean, this is insane. And I mean, and I talked about it. I mean, she talked about it, but I mean, Bailey Miller had spent this off season, like last off this season, obviously end of last year, and like you said, they had their retreat in January, and they literally she literally, I mean, again, not that she wasn't talented, but dedicated herself and has played, I mean, on the outside, the opposite of Glover when they've been healthy. And check this out. Bailey Miller has 223 kills on the season, which is a lot, as you can imagine. Oh, and Glover, she missed some time, as we know, but back doing well. 220 kills, second on the team. Tatum Parrott, who also missed some time, at 137 kills, approaching the Century Club, who just had a phenomenal match down in Tucson, which, again, we're not going to have Coach break down the play-by-play of that, but just the work that the players are put in. I mean, well, I was going to say, Ella Lamagora has 94 kills, so she's getting right there in the middle. Kyla Presley at 90. I mean, when she's subbed in. And then Colby Niel, again, the sisters Niel. Oh, dang, that's what I forgot. See, I should have asked him about that, but that's all right. We'll get to it about the the comedy of the sisters Niel. That is, again, absolutely amazing. That is absolutely amazing. So it's yeah, I mean, that's absolutely amazing when you think of it. 81 kills for Niel in the middle, and then actually her sister, who's been the Swiss Army knife, has 60 kills. So I mean, it's a team that has 919 to their opponent's 803. But yeah, I mean, Miller, Glover, I mean, you see Tatum, Parrott, and but like, I mean, Faith Frame at libero too. I mean, it should transfer in 206 digs on the season. I mean, Bailey Miller, like Coach said, working on her game, 184 digs for Miller as well. Phenomenal. I mean, that's, yeah, you guys, you get it. All right, and my favorite stat, I wasn't going to end talking about volleyball without aces, which Bailey Miller leading the team with 25 aces. Bryn Koval, very solid setter, server as well. She's got 17. Colby Niel chasing her with 16. Sydney Henry, who I mentioned, has 12. Ella Lewis has 10. Tatum Parrott has 9. Jillian Niel has 7. And I mean, she was, again, last year, again, the amount of aces we know, how big, obviously, she was there. So again, you look at, they have 100 right now. So that's actually one match and one set of points won by ace. Again, because you think it's 4 sets. So 3 sets, we win a match, and a 4th won by aces. So it's insane. I mean, like, again, good teams are going to do that, but the coach talks about pressuring the serve. And we talked about that before. Again, that's why I didn't, bring that up again to talk about it again. But I mean, it's a huge part of the game. So again, we want a little more. Hey, the card tricks, it is there. Forks up to coach for that one. But yeah, I mean, like, this team again tomorrow night against TCU, which it is at Desert Financial Arena, and it is at 6 p.m. That's right. See, I was right. I was going to say 7. You thought I was going to say 7, but I said the right time. I said 6 p.m. So yes, 6 p.m. TCU. And I mean, coach talking about playing a volleyball. ASU again 8-0 in conference play. Colorado is 9-1, but you got Baylor at 7-3, Iowa State at 6-3, along with TCU and KU. And then the 5-4 teams, BYU and the team down south. K-State is 4-5. Cincinnati is 3-5. UCF is 3-6. Utah is 2-7. West Virginia is 1-7, and then both Texas Tech and Houston are 1-8. But yeah, I mean, Colorado 9-1 in conference play right now, and they're 18-3 overall. So they are. And again, when you look at, the Devils beat. That's Colorado, who's number 24 time. I mean, you look at the row that they just went, and they went up to number 6 in the rankings, which is, again, awesome sauce. They went up to number 6 in the rankings, did the Devils, which obviously earned the teams above them. Like, they're winning. It's like, well, Texas is above them. Yes, they fell to Texas. Pitt is right above them. They fell to Pitt, but again, beat Penn State, beating the national champs. But I mean, you look at, so they beat Baylor, who's 16th, right? Then they turn around and beat Colorado, who's 24th. Then they turn around and go to 5 in Provo and beat BYU, who's number 19. So you go 16, 24, 19 rolling. And then now TCU is number 13 in the country, and they come rolling in tomorrow night at 6 p.m. What else? What other motivation do you need to come watch awesomeness? I mean, that's my question. What do you need to come watch awesomeness? Because, they are, again, phenomenal. So we do have, so like I said, soccer, soccer, they are headed to, Tucson tomorrow, and Thursday. Sorry, tomorrow's Wednesday. Thursday, they will be down there taking on that team down south. That's why they're headed to Tucson, not taking on anybody else. And that's at 7 p.m. And it'll be on ESPN Plus, so you can check it out. But yeah, like I said, and when we look at the soccer standings, I mentioned them earlier, but Arizona is 2-8 in conference play, and they're 7-11 overall. I don't want to hear it. And again, I want our Devils to win. And I think they should win, but I'm not going to overlook that. Coach is not overlooked because he's made it very, like we heard Coach Winkworth, he's made it clear to them that like going down there and playing it is a tough environment. So that is Thursday night. But yeah, 2-8 in conference and 7-11 overall. So, yeah. So yeah, I mean, obviously the Devils with 5 conference losses, but beating Utah was huge. They tied with Iowa State. But yeah, West Virginia, Colorado, Texas Tech, they fell to, and I mean, those are the 3 top teams along with TCU in the conference. But again, they have the goalkeeper to keep him in there. They have the team to do it, but I'm saying him back, starts with goalie and yeah. But anyway, focus on the team down south first, because you see, I know what you thought there. You thought I was trying to overlook them. No. Yeah. So it's need a win, and we need again TCU to beat up Houston, but win first. And yeah, I mean, the injuries that they've had to deal with. I mean, oh man, for I mean, it's been tough, obviously. Ella Kettles, I mean, in the midfield, the coach talks are the literally just the organized chaos all over the place, pressuring the ball, taking away the ball, winning the 50-50s, absolutely huge. So, yeah, I mean, she's been out. And then last match, Sierra Bergen, I mean, who scored the goal in the Utah game to give the Devils the 1-0 win. Again, she was next on the list of being out. So, yeah, a little banged up, but they are, again, they're pressuring, they're holding up, the speed they have, and I know I've talked about it, but the outside, the way they can work the midfield and kind of shift their formation, to make adjustments, and they can do it, and Coach Winkworth has done it. So if you can get down there Thursday, go and, get loud for the Devils down with that team down south, because they have a crowd that, like you heard Coach talk about, they're going to be, it's rivalry, and, they're going to say some things, and you just got to smile, nod, and play. Smile, nod, and play. So, but yeah, I mean, that's, and we'll talk more about it tomorrow too, guys, but, yeah, and we'll be getting ready tomorrow night for the volleyball match, which TCU will be in DFA. And look, again, for 17-2, 6th ranked Sun Devils, 8-0 in conference play, 8-0 at home, 7-1 away. Again, Texas with a banged up lineup, but look, you talk about your team focusing, dialing in the game changers he's talked about. That's what they call, the players that, might not be playing as much or on the bench, but in practice, what they do, how they push, the first team, like Coach talked about last year. But yeah, we'll catch up with Coach again, because we'll get to more of that, but we'll wait towards, wait till after the season. Or I shouldn't say maybe after season, whatever. We'll catch up with Coach again, but yeah, 17-2, 8-0 in conference, 8-0 at home, 7-1 away, 2-1 on a neutral site. That's how you build a winner. That's how you become Coach of the Year. And yes, Coach Van Niel always learning. So, hey, we'll hear from CJ Fight tomorrow. How about that? We'll hear from CJ Fight tomorrow. But yeah, we're going to get out of here. So that'll do it. Everybody have a most phenomenal rest of your Taco Tuesday. Again, make it a little spicy. Some jalapenos in there. Maybe some Tabasco, sriracha. I don't know, whatever you like. But a little spicy, little jalapenos, little cayenne pepper. That's from a great movie line too. Yeah, a little spicy. Enjoy them. Enjoy the rest of your Taco Tuesday. We will be back tomorrow. And again, I'll talk a little bit more, get into depth about a little bit more about TCU, what to look for. Pack this place. Let's go. And also upcoming too, we're going to have some we are going to have women's hoops getting underway. As you know, Coach Miller, again, had her on. Absolutely just phenomenal. But we are going to be talking to Martina Fantini, the 6'3" freshman for the U20 Italian national team from Florence, Firenze, sorry. And Alocia Carrera, who is from Sao Paulo, Brazil. I'll let you guys stew over why we're going to sit down with those two. They're Sun Devils. They're a Sun Devil basketball team, but there might be some other conversation there too in featuring these two phenomenal players. So anyway, we're going to get out of here. That's coming up too. But yes, have a phenomenal rest of your Taco Tuesday. Make them spicy. I will see you tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. And the reigning Big 12 champs women's volleyball team reminded me, it is #our state. Thank you to the team down south. Just learned that again on this past Saturday night. It is on to TCU though. But yes, it is #our state, and you guys know it. Go Devils. And as always, my pitchfork lunchers, forks up.
I went to Arizona State. Right. I'm a Sun Devil, man.
The 27-yard line. That's a great call. Blake Baker, Plummer will put it up, throws over the middle. Pull, touchdown. Quick flag.
3rd down and 5. Levitt switches to Scadaboo. Scadaboo breaks defenders. Here he goes again. Another. Scadaboo immediately met the backfield, runs through the contact, and then throws a shoulder for good measure.
Revenge on this defense here. That is true. High in the air. Right center field. Brandon Compton. Welcome to 2025. Today. This one the other way. No going back. That's the drag. Walks up and down.
Edwards pulls off and buries it. Richardson drives out for Robbie Ryan. Hurt three right on the money.